Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jim and Frank's Thursday Throwdown!
Jim, it's Thursday.
Time for a throwdown.
It's time for a throwdown, and we have a very special guest.
Yes, we do. The lovely and talented Tamar Berk is with us this evening.
I'm very honored. I know you guys for a long time now.
Yes.
Just saying that since 2021, when you guys played my probably Shadow Clues or something,
Yep.
my first video, and I was so thankful. And Ronnie, saw me on your show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just a guest on your show.
Right.
And he bought my album.
Awesome.
So it is kind of wild how it's weird how time flies. And then also that's a long time, technically.
5 years is quite a jump.
I know.
And you've put an album out every year for the past 5 years?
Well, okay. And the last album is called OCD. So does that help? Like the
Yes.
reason behind.
Right.
And I make these weird, something about my brain is that other than that, but part of what I have going on is that I make rules in my brain, and the rules have to be, once I set a rule, I have to sort of follow it through.
Your willpower and strictness.
Yeah, it's a little bit of like OCD meets like, I don't know. I have to be very careful with what the decisions that I make, because if I make a rule, I have to follow it. So, and right before we went on, I was discussing, like, I don't think I'm going to do an original album next year. It might just be demos. That rule can change.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, OCD is coming out September 5th. And it's been over a year and a half of my life. And like, when I say obsessing over music, that's what I do. And it was so nice to, we're going to discuss Bowie, but so much of what I read about him, and I'm an obsessive Bowie fan, but like recently I've been reading more about how he was obsessive about his music too. And I just totally relate to that in so many ways. I fully like enter into the world of each song, and it's very hard to like think about anything else. I'm probably quite difficult to be around during the creative process of an album, I would think. I'm annoyed with myself. I'm sick of myself.
It's very funny. First of all, I want to thank you for the pre-order and the advanced copy.
Of course.
Giving that a listen today. Some of these songs, slower paces, a little more, I don't know, I was going to say almost Bowie-esque when you listen to Hunky Dory as opposed to some of these. I really got that vibe that you were really searching in yourself on some of these.
Yes. Yeah, I really did. I think it's my favorite album, not just because of the pacing of it, but it takes you on a journey.
Right.
Which is how both of the two albums we're going to discuss today does, in my opinion.
Right.
I always fancied like myself like a huge Bowie fan, and like wanted to emulate the fact that his songs are not repetitive to a degree where they're very much put together in a way that takes you where they need to go, and then they're done. And unless they're like supposed to be a fun rocker, they're very, very efficient, and they're so smart, and no word is used too much or too little or just thrown out there. It's so well thought out, and you can tell with him, which is why I just want, like, he's such a huge influence in my songwriting. Every single word that I write to in my songs, every single sentence. I mean, I've taken 3 days to write one line so that it fits just right. And not many people have the patience for that, but I do, and I know Bowie did. So like, I know I'm in the right I guess, I don't know,
That's company.
artistic vibe
Yeah, good
of like
company.
obsessiveness, you know, and
Right.
it's okay because I know that means a lot to a lot of people who really cherish music to a degree when they're songwriting, that it's not just throwaway. It's very meaningful and very deep. And I feel like this album, I took myself to places that were uncomfortable,
Mhm.
like more than any of the other ones. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's going to do well. A lot of great tunes on there.
Thank you.
I got one question before we kind of roll,
Yeah.
because I was thinking today, what do I say to introduce her or announce her?
Oh,
Would you say, because the term that came to my mind was singer-songwriter, but
good
I
one.
don't know that everybody's comfortable with that, because I think it kind of conjures up Joni Mitchell or somebody along those, somebody with an acoustic guitar kind of thing up there singing. But you do
You're
sing
right.
and you are a songwriter and a producer.
So singer-songwriter is like that's kind of old term where you're like standing at a coffee shop with your acoustic guitar. And I still feel that way when I hear that term.
Yeah.
I would say when you think of somebody like Billie Eilish, Lord, um, Lana Del Rey, you think of them more as a solo artist, a solo act.
Right.
That's kind of how I see myself.
Makes
So
sense.
that feels more right. Not that I don't sit with an acoustic guitar and write songs, but I wouldn't categorize that as, kumbaya singer-songwriter-ish vibes. There is always a song on every album of mine that is an acoustic song that like is very stripped down. In fact, on this new one, there is one called Tell Me Why. And that was very inspired by sort of the vibe of like a, Dylan, but like, I'm not Dylan, but like the vibe of Dylan, the vibe
Sure.
of that sort of,
Sure.
there was a lot of questioning in the song and some harmonica that I played. And I wanted to write a song like that. So that's very singer-songwriter-ish.
Yep.
And I wouldn't discard that, but I think people still jump at what that means and think it's like acoustic-y.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like it kind of,
Yeah. Not
I think
I like,
folksy, but you said sitting in a coffee shop, kind of same difference.
yeah, I'm much more an electric guitar girl.
Oh
But
yeah, you are.
so I say like solo artist. Feels
Solo artist. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
so
Well,
thank
why don't we jump in then?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Oh boy.
Okay, so Tamar, we already said David Bowie. Which albums are we going to be listening to?
Well, as you
We're
can
talking
see,
about.
my display that I made for you guys
Right.
is Hunky Dory and Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie and Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Before I even told you guys about these two, I personally had like conversations in my own head about which one I liked better. It was just a thing because I'm such a Bowie fan that I really struggled with these two because as a songwriter, you always look for, okay, which album is just like the top notch of their songwriting and like who they were as a person. I do that with a lot of artists that I love. And when I really love them, like say the Elliott Smith, Lana Del Rey, David Bowie, I always struggle with a couple because I like so many of the songs. The thing with these two is they were written around the same time, recorded around the same time, but the spawning of Ziggy Stardust happened actually post recording a lot of the songs on Ziggy Stardust. So you can see the influence of Hunky Dory into Ziggy Stardust and his fascination with space and rock and roll figures and the whole thing of just what it means to be like this fame and all that stuff. He's always talked about fame, but I really feel like I'm maybe by the end of our discussion. I am leaning towards one right now. I am leaning towards one.
No,
But then I listened to them both again, and I'm just like, oh shit.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, you know?
Yeah.
now listening to Hunky Dory,
Yeah.
it starts off with changes,
Oh,
right? This is a classic.
Strong track, man.
Yes. Does it sound like it may not fit on the rest of that record?
well, I think it's the perfect song. And now, also, one of the things about Hunky Dory that I just adore is the piano playing.
Right.
Because
And that's how it was written.
Yeah.
that's my first instrument.
Okay.
Beyond guitar, like I play piano, like that's the instrument I'm the best at, that I understand theory the most on, that I know where to go quickly on. I could sit in with a band if you just give me a lead sheet on. I cannot do that. Maybe bar chords, like
Right.
I could play Green Day songs like with a lead
Sure.
sheet. All bar chords on guitar are fine, but like give me like open chords. I'm like, where's that? Like,
Yeah.
but piano and me, there's something about it. I grew up on Bowie, Billy Joel, Karen Carpenter, like these songs. But the thing about changes and the chords, when I was learning, I taught myself how to play it, and they're just so cool.
Mhm.
And he uses so many incredible chords on it. And then, of course, the piano player is the guy from Yes,
Right.
who played on all of Hunky Dory and then left.
Right.
Oh, what's his name?
Rick Wakeman.
Yes. And I love Yes. Yes. I love Yes. Some people don't like, I'm a big fan of Yes, but I also like prog. So there's that. I know somebody's going to be messaging.
That's okay. Yeah.
Whatever.
Music.
Who cares? It's all music.
Prog is not for everybody, but I'm like a
Yep.
geek. So I enjoy time signature changes and stuff like
Right.
that. The changes to me is really not just like a universal theme, but it's very personal for him. And it really does foreshadow what's going to happen on Ziggy Stardust. I mean,
Right.
he's really trying to figure out. Now, Changes was his big hit.
Yeah.
That was like the thing that suddenly like catapulted him, because it's such a hooky chorus as a songwriter. It's just like, it's just like, and also I think the word change in songwriting is such a heavy word,
Right.
and it can mean so many things to so many people. It's just one of those universal themes. So opening the album with that, in my opinion, is perfect.
Oh.
But I'd like to hear what you think. Like, did you not like it as the first?
Oh, no, I thought it was a stellar song from the first time I heard it, before I even knew it was the opening tune on their album.
Right.
Heard it on the radio, and
Yeah.
I didn't hear the whole album till much later.
Right.
So
It was like,
loved that tune.
But
So-
there's a reason that song still gets airplay today. I mean, it's timeless.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just so good, right? Works anytime. Like you said, and lyrically, you can listen to that song when you're 13, and you can listen to that
Yes.
song when you're 62, and
Right.
So speaking of,
still means something.
yeah, so I had a babysitter, and his name was David. And me and my sister were very close. We were only a year apart at the time. And he was a huge Bowie fan, but he was much older than us. And I didn't know at the time that he was, androgynous or gay. I didn't know what that meant. But he would play David Bowie music for us. And he lived right across the street from us. And this is Cleveland. And when we weren't being babysat, or even when we were, we would sometimes go over to his house and go in the basement, which was just covered in Bowie posters. And he had a habit trail. Remember habit trails?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, it couldn't be more that 70s show if you
Yeah.
try. And I remember being this tiny little thing, just like, what is this music?
Yeah.
There was something like, I didn't understand the lyrics. I didn't, but I was looking at the pictures of him and I thought it was magic. And when I say magic, I mean like I was entering into a secret magic world when I would
Right.
listen to David Bowie and go to David's house. His name was David Farina.
Right.
And so some of my earliest, most precious memories is David Bowie. I didn't even understand what I was listening to.
Right.
And the song Changes was just like there. It was like just huge.
Yes.
Only later when I, got the record and started listening to it straight through. And as a songwriter, that's really important for me because I obsess over the order of things,
Right.
how the record's going to come across, the order of the songs, and like it's very important for me. So when I listen to like Hunky Dory straight through, it's just so yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna shut my shade if that's okay. Hang
okay.
on.
You go ahead.
Okay, better.
Bowie's sequencing turns almost every one of his records into a concept album without even trying.
Yes.
And
Well, 100%. And he started out as like a mime. And as you brought up earlier, a singer-songwriter. I mean, his first album was like acoustic songs that
Yeah,
were
very, very pop.
very pop, very acoustic, very, very English.
right.
And
Very
he had that
British.
really great mod haircut too.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was very proper British. He sang with the British accent, and they were almost like novelettes, or they just
Right.
felt like stories. And yeah, so I agree. I think that he really thinks things through. And then he studied mime and he went to art school. So all of these things, I feel connected in that way. I used to be a ballerina. I went to art school to study photography. My whole life has just been art. I grew up listening to classical music because we all had to take piano lessons, and my oldest sister was pretty serious about piano. So we heard classical music all in our childhood. And so that properness is still ingrained in me, that proper kind of melodicness of classical music. So I don't know. I really connect with Bowie. I mean, a lot of people love Bowie.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So, but people connect with him for different reasons, and I mean, but at the end of the day, it's like the songs, and like you said, the little mini stories and operas, and they all feel that way.
Yeah. And whether it was intentional, and I kind of doubt that it was, but when you listen to Hunky Dory, after Changes, and it Changes grabs you, this album slows down and he's telling beautiful stories. It picks up once in a while, but it isn't until the last three tunes where we get some rockers.
Yeah.
But it leads us to the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust, because that album, it starts off with a bang right off.
But it also, like, okay, imagine at the time, he's got a song about Andy Warhol. He's got a song about Lou Reed. He's got a song about the freaking Velvet Underground, like Dylan.
Dylan.
And all of those kind of, and then on top of that, he has a huge monster hit, Changes.
Yeah.
And Life on Mars was a huge hit too, with his video and that whole persona he was conveying. Like, finding his voice on that one, I would have to agree with that. Like, a lot of critics say this is the album where he found his voice. I kind of agree, because not that anything prior wasn't incredible, Space Oddity and his David Bowie, his debut and all that. But this one it felt cohesive. He also referenced very current, hot artists, musicians at the time, which probably garnered a lot of the younger people's interest. And then on top of it, was portraying this androgynous person. It was just hot.
And
You know,
I look back at it as almost, it was very punk, way before punk.
yes. And very like the whole thing that's happening with gender identity, like it's so early to be
Right.
playing those kinds of thoughts. Although that's what Lou Reed was doing, that's what
Right.
Iggy Pop was doing, and I think he was just so influenced by that. And one thing about Bowie that I loved is that how he was so honest about all the influences. I mean, he never pretended that he came up with stuff. You can hear in a song like, let's just say Suffragette City or something, like the vibe of that, where that comes from, that New York vibe. And, you know, I mean, that's on Ziggy, but you know what I mean? And, you know, I think that like the one song, I would say one of my favorite, the top favorite songs on Life on a Hunky Dory is Life on Mars and actually Queen Bitch.
Queen
because
Bitch.
Yes.
That's a very Lou Reedish tune.
and that's where
Yeah.
it's just so New York.
Yes.
And here's this guy who went there, hung out with the Warhol crew, was highly and you know, he had a huge part in Lou Reed's album.
Right.
I think he might have even produced Transformer. I'm not sure. Google it. But I think are you on Google right now?
No, I haven't checked.
But I think he sang on some of the songs.
Right.
I know for sure. He might have had a part in producing it. But he spent quite a lot of time in New York, and you can hear it and you feel that, and the Queen bitchiness of that whole scene of, you know, the Velvet Underground scene. You could feel the New Yorkness of it. But also, like, what a song, the riff, the sound of Mick Ronson's guitar.
Produced by David Bowie and Mick Ronson.
There you go. So I knew it. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Pretty good with my Bowie history. But
would you both agree that Honky Dory was a big leap from The Man Who Sold the World?
well,
I think it was a progression.
I think that he was searching for a clear POV, because one of the things that I'm learning as a songwriter, okay, is that the interesting thing about songwriters, and so, well, let's go back to the solo artist, right? Okay, my dog is being crazy.
It's all right.
And you get Tommy because he's being nuts. Thank you. Love you. He's like staring at me. I gave him like 3 dinners already.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing about song, okay, what were we saying? We were talking about, can you remind me?
No, I was just saying, to me, like when I hear The Man Who Sold the World,
Okay, yes.
and then I hear Honky Dory, to me, it's like a big leap. Like he seems to be like really maturing as a songwriter to me.
But I agree with what you're saying, is that it's never a leap, because what he's going on in his mind and what's going on behind the scenes, it's always a natural progression. Although
Sure.
we might see a leap, because
but we don't see the progression. I mean, we see the end result.
But you have to remember,
because I'll say that the thing I was talking about before is POV, point of view. The songwriter is interesting when they have a point of view. Actually, any artist, like, why would you listen to an artist unless they had an interesting point of view, or a different point of view, or the same point of view that you have? And I think that's with art, with poetry, with music, with anything. And so I think he came out of that singer-songwriter school. He was an art nerd. He was an art kid, you know, just like Lennon. I think, didn't Lennon go to an art school? So they were like, maybe even the same art school. Who the hell knows? There was like one big one. And so somebody's going to correct me right now. Or,
it's not that big an island over there.
and somebody's going to be like, no, Tamar, they didn't go to the same art school. But I know the art school kid, because I went there, and there's a snottiness to it. And I'm not saying, but I do think that like when Bowie came out of the art school, he was writing pretty highfalutin lyrics and poetry and singer-songwriter, although I love that album. He wasn't thinking about a point of view necessarily. He was writing awesome songs. And I think Hunky Dory he didn't sell a lot of records. I mean,
He
again,
didn't sell a lot of records.
there's a guy who people are behind, know like his talent and keep wanting to sign him. And then are like, you got to sell record. You got to like, it has to be that way.
Hunky Dory
I
didn't
was
even
surprised. No, Hunky Dory didn't chart
until afterwards.
But Changes did.
Yeah.
Changes did
Single.
get him somewhere.
Right.
And then it catapulted into this whole other thing. But yeah, go ahead. What were you saying? I'm curious.
But no, I was just agreeing. Like he didn't sell a lot of records, right? Wasn't really charting. And I kind of went through and was looking at like what were his sales like. And so like Ziggy Stardust, 500,000. You know, he's not hitting platinum. He's not hitting million sellers, right? He's right at that 500,000 mark.
But what really
Aladdin Sane, same thing, station to station, same thing. But you hear the singles relentlessly on the radio.
Well, but now I don't know, the accumulation of how many he's sold is different from at the time.
Sure.
You know, I think at the time, like his debut album, the acoustic David Bowie with the mod haircut, really didn't sell that much. And it wasn't really a point of view. It was good. It was cool. It was like, oh, he's got an interesting voice. He's got two different color eyes. He's not mod. He's more poetic and weird. And so I think people were trying to like figure him out. And then he comes with Hunky Dory, comes with Changes, and there's much more of a point of view, but it's not quite there, but it's so rich with like, what is life on Mars? What is that song about? Right. What is this about? What is Oh You Pretty Things about? I mean, it's insane. And, you know, that song, Oh You Pretty Things, like pretty much blew my mind. Like first of all, I tried.
Understandable.
You know, it took me days to learn that song. The chords are outrageously challenging. And you're trying to learn these weird seventh chords in like sharps and all the positioning of the chords to move through it so smoothly. There's some YouTube video of me trying to play it and pretending to play it well. I still have it up there somewhere. You can probably find it. But and my really old cheap piano that sounded out of tune. So don't judge me on that. But I was so fascinated with that song because the thing about Bowie that I as a younger person is it's strange, but I never dug too deep into his lyrics until I got older. There was just something about his songs that you just sang without really knowing what they were about. And it didn't even matter.
Great hooks.
That's what kills me. It's like, first of all, what a line. Oh, you pretty things. Mm-hmm. I mean, as a songwriter, I'm so jealous of that line. In such a massive way. Like that could be, it doesn't matter what, it could be so many things, you know? Right. It could be old, young, female, male, animals, creatures. It doesn't even matter like what that means. And, you know, there's certain words and certain sentences from artists that I love that I'm like, God, I wish I would have written that. Yeah. You know, the occasional like Elliott Smith line or a Lana Del Rey line, or for sure David Bowie or Liz Phair via Exile and Guyville line that I'm just like, genius.
Right.
You know, and I always aspire to write lines like that. Right. It's just, but you have to have those high, I always try to have those high like stretches. Like, can I do that? Because I think it's good to have challenging goals like that, because you know, that's why it might take me 3 days to tweak a line. And then I'm like, I love that line I wrote, you know, and somebody will inevitably message me and be like, that's a great line. I'm like, thank you, David Bowie, for the inspiration.
Yeah.
No, just bringing it all back. But
It's funny, as somebody that does that for me is, you may laugh, but David Lee Roth.
oh,
His
I loved it.
his
Don't
lyrics,
say that.
someday you're the hydrant, some days you're the dog. Things like that in the middle of a
Yes.
song, it's just
Yes.
profound stuff.
David
It is.
really knows how to turn a phrase.
Yes.
I know.
Very
I mean,
much so.
the title of my first album is The Restless Dreams of Youth.
Mhm.
A line from one of my favorite Rush songs. And people were surprised that I like Rush, but I love Rush.
So you prog
And-
rock.
And not a lot of people like them. Like, it's definitely a taste thing. But I'm a huge Rush fan. And that song, oof,
Right.
Subdivisions.
There you
Yes.
go.
One of their best.
One of their best. But that, it's like, not to totally nerd out, but that's how I feel about Bowie. Like, when a song takes you to a place so deep within you, and I know this sounds like super cheesy and cliche, and I don't know how to describe it any other way, but like, it evokes an emotion
Right.
that it's not just sadness, it's not just aspirational, it's not just nostalgia, it's like a real feeling of emotion that sometimes you almost want to cry from it.
Mhm.
And that's not necessarily sadness, it's just such a
Moving.
deep
Yeah.
connection,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, that of what? Fear, of confusion, of trying to find meaning of something, and that's all I can say about Bowie. On, like, Hunky Dory is one of those albums that, let's say this about it, and I'm not comparing yet, but it is a little more open to interpretation because it is not Ziggy Stardust, and the story behind it was written after all the song. Like, the story was written like after, to put
Yeah.
it together. Now,
Right.
and I could speak to this because I wrote a rock opera. I don't know if you know this,
Hmm.
but I had a band called Paradise, and we wrote a double. There's the third album, Paradise. It's called Dawn of Paradise, and it was a double album, and it was a rock opera because I always wanted to write one. And I was inspired by Quadrophenia, I was inspired by Tommy, and I was inspired by Ziggy Stardust. And we wrote an rock opera, and we recorded it with Ron Nevison. And I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Sure.
So he engineered Quadrophenia and Physical Graffiti, and we found him living a state above us in Washington State when we were in
Wow.
Portland. And we were writing this rock opera because it was a rule in my head. I will write a rock opera one day. And then it happened because I had to make it happen. But I should send you this, you guys. I love this album.
Yeah.
And it comes from that same place where we wrote these songs. And I remember sitting with Steve later and then trying to not retrofit totally, but trying to come up with a story that unifies and makes all the songs work in an order, which is what he did with Ziggy Stardust. It all makes sense.
Right.
But even Dawn of Paradise is about a rock singer that comes down, but he's also confused with a religious figure, which pulls from Tommy. And anyway, but that's the thing about life from Hunky Dory, is that it's just maybe a little bit more open and doesn't make you feel beholden to the story of Ziggy Stardust.
Right.
I haven't decided yet.
Well, let's talk about the rise and fall, shall we?
Yes.
Let's.
This album is
Magnus opus for sure. Yeah.
Chock full of songs that, again, we're still listening to on the radio. Mm-hmm. If you're in a cover band, you're playing half the tunes. Anything. These are staples, especially people of this generation that's watching this show.
Yeah.
They know Ziggy Stardust. This album is just amazing.
I know. And again, this was, me in the basement of my babysitter, David Farina. Sorry, there was like a bug here, and I'm trying to kill it with my bare hands.
It's
like
the wine. Yeah, it's the wine.
No, it was really a bug. But going in the basement, and the thing about Ziggy Stardust is the imagery of it is so intense, and you really do, even as a young kid, feel like there's something so beyond, and when you watch Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars film, of the movie, of the live show,
right,
you see the girls like in a complete trance.
right.
They are in it. They are in that character. They are wanting to be taken on a journey with him from beginning of the 5 years Earth is dying to Rock and Roll Suicide. And I do have to say, I covered Rock and Roll Suicide once, and it is such a challenging song to sing, but like one of my all-time favorite songs ever. And it's just, time takes the cigarette.
Right.
That line. There I am again with that line.
Right.
Like, who writes like that? Just only him. But the story is cool.
Right.
I like the idea of the story, but is it really the story? Is it that interesting? I think it's more that he created his character and the band to back him up, and these songs are so fucking killer.
That's the bottom line. It's the songs.
The songs. I mean, Moon Age Daydream, 5 years, Starman. It Ain't Easy, I think, is a cover.
Right.
I think it's a cover, by the way. Can somebody Google that? But I do think it's a cover. Lady Stardust makes me cry. Oh my God. Hang On to Yourself, then Ziggy Stardust, and Suffragette City, which isn't my favorite. It's fun, but then Rock and Roll Suicide, like the journey of that. I also love that you really want to listen to it straight through, like the experience of that, or just watching the movie. Oh,
It Ain't Easy.
I was addicted to that film for a while.
Yes.
Like I was just watching it all the time.
Yes.
And again, the era that we came through, Jim and I, we were Kiss freaks.
So, I love Quit. Yes, they scared me. They scared me, but they were cool.
Well, you were talking about the imagery of David Bowie and seeing his pictures.
Yes.
That's how it was for me. I didn't realize who was in the band of Kiss, so who was who, but their makeup, I was in awe every time I saw pictures.
I felt about Alice Cooper too.
Same thing.
Yes. My older sister, she had the Kiss, she had the Alice Cooper, she had the David Bowie, and me just staring at those album covers like, what is happening in the world that I need to know right now? And I was really young, but it didn't matter. Or she also brought home Captain Fantastic.
Oh, the album cover is amazing.
John, that album cover, I would
mind blowing.
The book, everything about it. Yes,
mind blowing.
Yes.
So so In Ain't Easy is the only cover. Am I right?
Ron Davies wrote that.
Davies is from something.
Yeah, I forget where they said
another
band he was in. Yeah.
But there is something magical about the song Moon Age Daydream. I also
love the way it starts.
I mean, it's very emotional, that song.
Right.
And I can never not feel emotional from that song. And the thing about 5 years too is like, imagine today some of those lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
People would be like so offended by some of them, which makes me laugh. But I'm also like, well, this is the sign of the times. But the thing about 5 years is what I love musically is just that. It's like slow. And I have to just say one thing about my new album is I did not have an opening song for that album. And I was really unhappy with all of the choices I made and had. And so I wrote the first song last.
So to be the first song.
Yes, I wrote
Mhm.
Stay Close By first.
Gotcha.
I mean, sorry, last. Be the first track to welcome the person into the fold of what I was going to do. And if you notice, it does have a little bit of a
Right.
kick. And inspired by 5 Years and also another band called Postal Service, which was more electronica, but there's something about it, but also slow.
Right.
5 years, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
1, 2, 3. It kind of pulls you in this beautiful way, starts the story of this alien. Did I put that all together when I was younger? No.
Mm.
I wasn't even sure that the guy from Changes was the same like it was very hard to know. I don't know.
Right.
What did you guys think?
By the time for me to listen to both of those albums, I was familiar with Bowie. So it wasn't early on.
So I only knew Bowie from kind of singles.
Right.
But I'll tell you this, I remember Suffragette City is probably my favorite song on the record. And I heard that song 8th grade, going into 9th grade in the summer. I still remember exactly where I was standing. I remember it was on the radio was on KMET and they played Suffragette City. And this was like 76, 77 at this point, right? So it's been a few years, but I had just kind of discovering rock radio at this point. And that song just blew my mind. To me, that song is like a perfect song. Verse, chorus, it's got that great bridge in there.
Oh, it's such a rock and roll New York vibe to it.
Then later on, I learned the bass line. The bass line is so fun in that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until much later when I heard Ziggy Stardust as a
whole,
as a package, right? And shortly after that, I probably heard the song. And there's stuff in there I just couldn't even understand, right? Until
I know
you get a little older and Well Hung with Snow White Tan makes a little more sense. You understand a little more what he's talking about.
It's very, very sexual. There's a lot of sexual innuendo in it. And at the same time, the whole album. Well, I think that's what he was selling. A lot of this kind of androgynous idea where you could find me sexy, doesn't matter if I'm a man or a woman, doesn't matter if I'm space alien, it doesn't matter. It's rock and roll, it's music, it's sex, it's what rock and roll is really kind of about. I mean,
I think one of the things for me that made it so different was because you couldn't turn on AM radio and hear Suffragette City.
Right.
They were playing things like Fame and Young Americans and Changes and this and that. And this was just a straight ahead kind of balls to the wall rocker.
Well, and it also,
in a way, I was like, man, I kind of didn't know Bowie as that kind of an artist, if that makes sense.
Well, it goes back to the New York roots also. When you talk about the album lyrics and the subtlety and everything, us West Coast guys, we were singing Beach Boys tunes and
the Eagles.
The Eagles.
Peaceful, Easy Feeling.
Love the Eagles. I freaking love the Eagles, by the way.
But Bowie, again, with Iggy Pop and Lou Reed and everybody else and the New York scene, it was dirtier,
the Dolls, probably.
Grungier.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's where a lot of those lyrics seem to come through for us.
Yeah,
later on,
influences are so on his sleeve, and he always credits Lou Reed. He loved Lou Reed.
Right.
He loved Iggy Pop, and I just read a very interesting little piece of trivia that he wanted to come up with a name for his alien creature. He really loved the name Iggy,
right?
Obviously. And then there was so it's a little piece of trivia that I learned that there was a clothing store called Ziggy or something like that, Ziggy's in England. And then he's like, oh, that's kind of cool because that's Iggy and, and Ziggy. And so he chose Ziggy. And the Stardust has some connotations to it too, obviously. But yeah, I mean, this album, I don't know, it's almost I feel like it's perfect. You may be angry at me about this, but Suffragette City annoys me after a while. And I only
it's for a lot of people, I think it's played out.
It's played out. That's how I feel about the Stones. Like, actually, I love all the Stones B-sides. I do not play the freaking radio Stones songs. Right. I will turn it.
Because you've heard them a million times already.
Yes. And it's like,
I get it.
It's been ruined. So, but Suffragette City, like taking a break from a song like that and then listening to it again, like I did recently, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a cool song. Also, it's like that basic, it's a rock and roll without like bombasticness of like Nirvana or something. It doesn't need to be like so huge and loud. It could just be driving Velvet Underground-ish stuff with the lyrics that are tough and city and, so I like it more now. I will say it's just probably my least favorite on the album.
There's so many great cuts on that record.
You can't go wrong.
No.
I know. I only recently learned that It Ain't Easy is a cover. Right. But I do like it as he chose to put that in. And that's, people always ask me, aren't you going to do any covers? Don't you ever do any covers live? I think it's a very common question that solo artists get asked. Singer-songwriters, whatever, songwriters. The way I feel about it is like, unless I'm going to do something really new with it, and it's a song, I would never do a song that I didn't love, right? Yeah. So if I'm going to do a song that I love, I know in my heart I would never top the original. So I'm just not that good. So why try? It just doesn't make sense to me. You
have to love it.
Those are the kind of things you do to entertain yourself, right? You pick up the guitar and you.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're David Bowie and you're doing a cover, or there's been covers that I've heard that have blown me away. In fact, better than the originals. But that's like takes a very special artist, very special singer with an interpretation. I will say sometimes Kelly Clarkson, like her interpretations of some of the covers that she does, she's real big on these covers. Well, she could sing like crazy, but she's also a master at interpreting lyrics in a really pop way that freshens it up in a way that is really cool,
Exactly.
So anyway, I love both of these albums, and wait, I'm going to grab them really quick.
Okay.
I love them both, and I just want to show your people, your listeners, So this was, the cover of this was, he was, kind of going for the same Man Who Sold the World kind of vibe.
Yep.
Actually shot in black and white.
Yeah, and then hand colored. Same with this one. So he was kind of going for like the Vogue, Hollywood star kind of thing, which I really like.
Right.
And the same thing with this, the hand colored photo of it.
It's almost cartoonish. It's so awesome.
I do want to show you something, but I'm first going to turn my light up, my screen back up here. It's getting so dark here already in California. But I bought a second copy of this because I have it on green vinyl.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Nice.
And why not? I mean, you can never
not.
One scratches, you've got the other one.
There you go.
You never have enough Ziggy.
I know. You can't.
You put your vinyl out on color, correct?
Yeah. Tiny Injuries was on blue. But this one's going to be black on 180 gram. I'm supposed to be getting it in the next week or so. I'm freaking out. And actually, glad you brought up my record because
there it is.
Got the CDs in. And very excited. I'm going to start sending these out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you do your own Bandcamp page, correct? You manage it yourself?
Yes.
Well, you get an order from Jim and I. We expect them to be signed.
I will.
She always signs them.
I always sign them.
Very good.
It's also my method so that you can't resell them.
Exactly. Very good.
No, but for real, I do sign them because I know every single person who buys them.
Yeah. Because
I'm the one fulfilling the order.
Right.
And it's very meaningful for me because, when you spend the insane amount of time I do on songs and crafting them, when somebody, I've said this before in another podcast, but like, think about how inundated you are with music, with artists, with buying stuff, with Amazon, with products online, with every single thing on TikTok is now, an ad.
Right.
Thing on Instagram is an ad. And when somebody actually clicks on buy and it's my music, it almost makes me want to cry because it is an action that I do not take for granted.
Right.
Because there's so much out there. And it just makes me feel like somebody really is interested in my music, wants to hear it, and is taking a second out of their day from all the millions of at them to do it. So, it is a very big thank you to everybody who buys my music. It matters. And it helps me kind of try. I mean, obviously, I'm never going to make up all the money that when you're an independent artist, to make the videos and to press the vinyl and do all that stuff. You never need to make it up.
Right.
But that's not, it's okay. I got credit cards.
If you didn't love making the music, it wouldn't matter anyways, right?
That's right.
No, I don't know what I would do. To be honest, I really don't. Well, I don't know what my outlet would be. It would be something with art, but I feel very lucky to have music.
All right, Jim, we've come to that time.
I know.
I'm going to go with you first. I'm going to give Tamar all the time she needs to think about it.
No.
You guys sit there and look over both of them.
Did we talk about this enough? Was it enough? I feel like, did we cover it?
That's the thing. Both of those records, you could talk about them nonstop, and it's not enough.
Every time we do Bowie, it's like this. They're long sessions.
Have you done Bowie before?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, you should have told me. Oh shit.
No, different records. Yep. Completely different records. So
which two records?
We did Low and
didn't we do Ziggy with Low?
No, was it Ziggy? I don't think we did.
It may have been Ziggy. I don't know.
Who been quite a while.
We did that with Mark Ernest.
Oh, who's that? I'm sorry.
Kennewa's lead singer.
Oh.
But he's also a music journalist and
okay.
An all around nice guy.
Absolutely.
Sure. Oh my God. Anybody who loves Bowie is a friend of mine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, he loves Bowie.
Yikes.
I got it. Just because of that moment that I had there in 8th grade, I'm going to go Ziggy Stardust. I think, like we said, it's about as perfect a record as you can do. I think we did Ziggy Stardust with The Conspiracy, and we kind of came to that same conclusion, right?
Perfect record.
It's about a perfect record.
I tell you what, re-listening to Hunky Dory today, and as much as I love Bob Dylan, and when he says he has the voice of glue and sand, it's like
all right.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you're right. But those songs about Andy Warhol and Lou, those are so good. So good. But I always come home to Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
I love The Rise and Fall. I love that album. And I think it's because it tells the story. Yeah. And again, I think that the cheater factor is the movie, having seen that and watched again, the makeup and the costume and the whole bit. And it is overwhelming. Yeah.
Oh, look at him.
There you go. All right. It's up to you.
Wow. Look at me. I am going to say Hunky Dory.
All right.
Yep.
I
And
had a feeling that's where she was going.
Yeah.
I know. I say that it's my favorite Bowie album because I'm coming from a songwriter perspective. And when he found his voice,
Right.
that's what really interests me. It may not tell a story of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, which honestly, that should go in like, I don't know, it should be in like, what do they do when they put it in a time capsule
Its
and
own
bury
capsule.
it and put it on Mars? Like, this album needs to do that.
Right.
I wouldn't say that this album should, but this album should.
Mhm.
But for me personally, this is my favorite Bowie album because
Right.
I just feel like, and maybe because I know what it feels like to struggle with finding your voice. I mean, we've known each other for 5 years, but I've been in bands for many, many years and have many different point of views and personas and songs and placements in bands and roles in bands. And the thing about all that is it leads up to finding your own voice.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment for an artist is the most magical. And I can hear that in Hunky Dory. I could hear that he has turned a corner. Also, my love of piano based songs that are still fucking rock and roll.
Right.
I mean, that's hard to do. Billy Joel has done that on a couple songs. I mean, he could get a little schlocky, but I love me some Billy Joel.
Sure.
But there's rock and roll in all of these piano songs. And I've teared up listening to Hunky Dory.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have to go back.
Hey.
No wrong answers on
Not
this.
at all. No.
I know, but I'm sure people will be like,
oh, let them do whatever.
That's always my, that's my response.
There you go.
Do you so wait, what show are we doing right now? Is this the conspiracy show?
No, we are now doing Jim and Frank's Thursday Throwdown.
Ooh.
And it's on, if you are subscribed to the old podcast.
Conspiracy thing I always watch.
It's now Frank and Jim's Rock Talk.
It'll still pop up. Yeah.
So you do the conspiracy still?
No.
Jerry left us, and so we decided to kind of rebrand a little bit.
Right.
Because it's no longer the JFJ, unfortunately. Yeah. But
so on Facebook, we'll have little snippets of David Bowie, and I can take the copyright strikes there. It's no big deal. On YouTube, there won't be any music. It'll just be us plain folk
talking away. Yeah.
And we don't get any.
And then you'll play my new video, of course.
If you send me the link, I will. I
haven't sent you that.
It may be in the email.
I think it's in the other.
Okay.
I'll send it again.
I think it's in the other.
Out Friday.
Okay.
And then I'm.
So let's talk briefly.
Yeah.
New album coming out is OCD.
New album is called OCD and
comes out on September 13th. Is that the right date?
Nope. First single is out this Friday, August 8th, and the album is out September 5th.
Oh, September 5th. I don't know where I got the 13th from. September 5th.
Yep. And then I'm playing a big album release party in Chicago at Shuba's with Material Reissue.
Wow.
My all-time favorite band is Material Issue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just
love those guys.
We were talking about the drum kit because I was like, Mike, what drum kit are you playing? My drummer's going to have to borrow it. He's like, oh, he's going to love it.
He builds his own drums and refinishes his own drums.
He does. So people buy your tickets because they're going fast. Actually, they're really going fast.
Very good.
And you've got International Pop Overthrow coming up. What's the date?
And I'm going to have vinyl and CDs, International Pop Overthrow. I'm only going to play the San Diego show. I have played LA before, but San Diego is nice. It's around the corner, and I can break in my new drummer there, my in-town drummer, who's great.
What's the date? You're playing Saturday night,
correct? 15th. No, Friday the 4th.
Friday 15th.
Friday, August 15th. And it'll be fun. We're actually going to pull out some new songs. For this album, people listen straight through. It's a vibe. It's different. It's awesome. It's my favorite.
Listen.
And I'm really happy with it. You've got everything from there's power pop on there. There's even shoegaze. There's kind of slow jams. There's piano ballads via my Bowie thing. There's a little Lana Del Rey vibes in there, some Liz Phair vibes in there. So yeah.
I was gonna say, so I listened to the new single before we got on the show today.
Oh, Stay Close By.
Yes. And the first thing I thought was Liz Phair.
Oh, okay.
That guitar and vocal.
Yep.
Not that you sound like Liz Phair, but that was just kind of what it made me think was
Just that.
that guitar and vocal.
I
Yeah.
bought that pedal particularly for that song.
All right.
The new pedal just for that song.
So they find the record on Bandcamp at
yes. So if you want it on vinyl or CD, Bandcamp, and you can obviously that money goes make more money off of that. Well, not,
or digitally, right?
Yes, you can stream my digital discography, or you can just get that. And then streaming on Spotify and Apple and all of that things will be September 5th. So if you buy it Friday, you'll actually be able to download it instantly and listen to it. So I don't know why you wouldn't do that.
I don't know. My favorite
first Friday on Bandcamp, right? That's artist gets
that was so last week was Bandcamp Friday.
We have to wait another month.
If
they do it.
So August 8th.
It would have to be August 8th, right?
Yeah.
Is when it's coming. But you guys are
1, 2. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
September 5th. I don't know if that is. Maybe it is.
September 5th is Friday.
No, that'll work out good.
But if you got what I'm saying is if you buy it August 8th before September 5th, you on Bandcamp, you will get it right away, the digital down. And I'm already starting to ship CDs and vinyl. So
cool.
All right.
Get on that.
And I just want to share this. Like, how cool is that? One thing I love about the back of Hunky Dory is that he's still like he's got his hippie vibe going there from the older album, but the front is not. So I don't know. That's what I like.
Well, we appreciate
so people, you need to like respond to this episode and tell me what you think.
We'll
is
definitely
it Hunky Dory or is it Spiders from Mars? Because it was a big debate in my head.
We will, I'm sure, have a few people that will be very opinionated by it.
Yeah, I'm curious. I love all opinions because both are so good.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me. And yes, I will sign your records when you get them, and let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, just a quick plug for Bandcamp, but whenever I order stuff off there, it seems like people like Tamar, Kelly Ogden, Lisa Michaels. You order stuff,
they sign it for you.
Right, they sign it. They'll send you stickers. They do all kinds of cool stuff. So, which you don't get when you go down and buy it at Target or wherever.
Yeah. Although it'd be nice to be in Target. But that would mean that I would have had an advance that I'll be paying off till I was dead.
Right.
So that's not going to happen.
Well, if you have not heard Tamar's music, you definitely need to check it out because it's wonderful stuff. She's a great singer, songwriter, producer, multi-instrumentalist, ball of talent.
Yep. Absolutely.
You guys are so sweet. And I really like reconnecting with all the people that I met from 2020, 2021.
Right.
Like it's really kind of cool. It's like, oh, hey guys, here I am again. Yep. Another
record. Journey.
It's almost like a yearly meet and greet again.
Well, it feels good because we were there from the first album.
You were.
And I can't tell you how many people have either messaged me or come up to me at a show and said, hey, thanks for turning me on to Tamar Berk.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God.
And when I say that, I mean, it's people who are songwriters themselves. And so it's people I respect as songwriters who are coming up and saying, I think she's fantastic. So
that makes me so happy.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's all. when you don't have a label and a big machine behind you, it is people like you guys, and I mean it, I'm not exaggerating, that invite me on shows, let me share my music, play something, and that, have some followers that suddenly they like it, then they tell their friends about it. I mean, it sounds so obvious, but it's really hard today. There's just so
Absolutely
much. It's like, oh my God, I read some crazy statistic before we before we end the sesh, that I think there's like 70,000 songs daily on Spotify. Wow. Something crazy that are released on Spotify daily.
And to
think about that.
They have to pick one song of yours out of all those.
So it's people like you that might turn a couple people to just click on something they would have clicked on before.
Right.
And I'm very thankful for that because, thank you for telling me that.
All right.
Absolutely. Thanks again for joining us. Joy to have you on.
It's cuties, and say hi to your past partner.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Good. Jerry's still doing okay.
He's doing good.
He's doing really well.
Yep.
Good. Okay. Bye, Jim and Frank. Love you guys.
Oh, you take care now.
Okay,
thanks again.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Jim. That was Tamar Berk. She had quite a few opinions about David Bowie.
Yes, she did.
And that's what we like. I think that's a majority decision for Ziggy. The fellas kind of outweighed Hunky Dory, but again, no wrong answers. Great albums.
But two out of 3 for Ziggy.
Yeah. So check out Tamar on Bandcamp. You will not be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed. Why she's not on the radio?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Jim. Let's wrap this one up, and we will get together next week.
Yeah. See you next Thursday.